this session. Good afternoon to everyone in the Philippines, and good morning and good evening to those in other parts of the globe. Welcome to today's financial literacy class. Feel free to take notes as needed or take screenshots of the information that interests you. If you have questions, write them down and talk to the person who invited you, and you will be provided with more information. We will also provide a link to the recorded video after the class so you can watch a replay and share it to family and friends. We value your time with us and we will ensure that this next hour is going to be worth it. So for today, we will be discussing about 5 topics. 1, we will introduce IMG to you. 2, we will talk about the financial challenges that we face in 4 major areas. 3, we will discuss about the 3 basic financial concepts. 4, we will introduce you to Kaiser Healthcare. And 5, we will share with you the benefits of being a member of IMG. My name is Mayyu Cappleman-Bajet, and I am an associate here in IMG. I joined IMG in November 2020, and I am very much excited to share with you what I have learned by being part of this community. I would also like to congratulate you for taking the first step towards financial literacy, towards overcoming poverty, towards financial independence. You are here because someone thought of you, and that someone believes that you will greatly benefit from what you will learn today. And what you are about to learn are all taken from this book entitled The Secret to Saving and Building Your Future. We all know that money is powerful. It is powerful that it can either make or break us. Many of us work hard, yet we seem we are not getting enough. We take more than one job. We take side hustles, but it seems na kulang pa din. Many professionals who are earning bigger incomes still find that they are not saving enough, or worse, find themselves in debt. In IMG, we will learn that there's something that is more powerful than money, and that is financial education. Financial education is not just for the rich, the wealthy, or the business people, but it is for everyone. Financial education is the reason why the wealthy continue to become wealthy or wealthier. Further, financial education was not taught to us back in high school or college, when in fact it is an important subject that we need to learn, just like math, science, English, or history. And that's why IMG aims to spread awareness to all Filipinos around the globe about financial education, because with financial education, all Filipinos can achieve financial success. Financial education aims to break the cycle of poverty. People might tell us that we spend too much time discussing about money, or we are too focused on finances, when in fact, money does not buy happiness, which is very true. However, the more important thing to remember is that poverty does not buy anything. Do you agree with these statements? It is important to initiate discussions about money or money management because we want to be secured of the future without worrying about the lack of money to feed ourselves to survive. Our goal is financial security. Here in IMG, we combine a great mission that is to provide financial education and a potential business career in the financial industry. We are here to share with you the basics of financial education because we believe that anyone is capable and should be given the opportunity to change his or her life for the better. In IMG, we also have mentors. We have people to look up to, people who are experts in their field to teach and guide us in our journey towards financial freedom. Showing you are the pillars of IMG, namely Sir Joan de las Peñas, Sir Noel Arandilla, and Sir Bart Borja. They are considered the big three of IMG. We also have notable mentors, Brother Bo Sanchez, who is a Catholic lay minister and a writer of several financial literacy books, and Sir Rex Mendoza, who is known as the investment guru. He is the CEO of Ramper Financials, the leading mutual funds distributor in the Philippines. So as a total financial solution, IMG will help you to become financially educated as well as give us opportunities or platforms to apply our learning. IMG stands for International Marketing Group, a global company that serves as an avenue in achieving financial security. It caters to the financial needs of every individual and families who wish to achieve financial independence. IMG's mission is and vision is to help every Filipino family to become wealthy or rich or financially secured by making financial education available for everyone, regardless of status or professional background, by teaching every Filipino how to save the right way. In IMG, we will share with you for free a financial planning strategy that is simple, clear, doable, and easy to understand. So, are you ready to learn more? Can you give me a thumbs up or can you type the word ready in our chat box? All right, perfect. So let's get on with it. Every day, people go to work to make a living. But no matter how hard we work and how much we earn, money always seems to control our lives. In fact, the working Filipino continue to face increasing challenges in four major areas. So what are these? The first one is the uncertain labor market, meaning there is no security or assurance that our jobs will last long, especially for those in the private sector. We are not certain if our jobs will be there in the next months or in the next years, just like what happened to most people during the pandemic. Nobody expected this to happen, yet it happened, and it left thousands of Filipino families struggling to make ends meet for their families every day. Another thing that adds to uncertainty is automation. That is, this is when machines or computers are replacing the human workers, because the age of powerful software and technology continue to replace more and more human workers. Examples are these kiosks that we see in fast food restaurants or in the cinemas or in some stores. All we have to do is tap on the machine, make our order, and we can even pay right there and then. We no longer need to converse with a person. So imagine the number of human workers that are being displaced by automation. The second major area is low savings and high debt. Majority of Filipino workers have just enough income per month, which is sometimes not enough, especially for big families. And many think that the only solution to financial challenges is to borrow money. With debts that are piling that need to be paid, most Filipinos will tend to borrow more money to pay for their debts. Another habit that adds to low savings and high debt is the mentality of party now, bahala na later, or YOLO, you only live once. This is best exemplified most of the time by OFWs, but not all of them. We say this because these are the scenarios that we see or hear from our friends and relatives, wherein when they come home, they spend a lot of their savings for parties, outings, inuman, and when they need to go back abroad to continue working, they do not have enough, so the tendency is to borrow money. Why is that? Because naubos na yung pera na naipon nila. Tapos, iaasa na lang kay Batman. Our lifestyle and spending habits can also add to low savings and high debt. We might not admit it, but we also have this tendency to buy more than what we need. For example, We do not need a new phone, but because a new model is out, we want to be with the trend and buy that new phone without considering if we can really afford it. Another is buying expensive items just because most of our friends buy them. These lifestyles or bad spending habits have a big impact on retirement. Instead of enjoying our retirement, the retirement money that we receive is used to pay for our debts. In short, nothing is left for us to spend when we get old, and especially when we no longer have jobs. That is why there are people who continue to work beyond age 65 in order to survive. Since these people are already beyond retirement age, they have no choice but to take any job so they can have something to use for their daily expenses. The third major area is the high cost of education. In most schools, the increase in tuition happens every 6 years, but in some schools, it can be every year. So when we plan for our children's education, we must take these increases into consideration because the tuition fee this year might double or triple by the time our kids will start college. The bottom line here is there will be expenses for education, whether our children are enrolled in public or private schools, or in any school for that matter. And these expenses include allowances, food, school supplies, books, rent for housing or dorms, transportation, uniforms, computers, internet, and others. And we all want our children to be in a good school. Hence, majority of Filipinos need to save enough for the cost of a good education. The fourth major area is the increasing cost of living. Inflation is the rate at which money loses its value and the level of prices for goods and services is rising. As we can see here, the inflation rate last December 2020 was 3.5%, and it went up to 4.2% in January and further up in April. That is 4.5%. So inflation affects the purchasing power of our money. So you might ask, how so? So this is an example of how inflation affects the value of the 1,000 peso bill over time. In 1998, 1,000 pesos can fill up a grocery cart. 10 years later, the same amount of money can only afford items to fill up half of the cart. And in another 10 years, the 1,000 pesos can only buy a few items. So how much more after another 10 years? So inflation lowers the value of our money over time. Together with increasing taxes and no increase in salary, what do you think will happen? Do we have enough to save? What can we do if we do not have enough savings and emergencies happen, such as hospitalizations, calamities, or loss of jobs? In summary, these are the four major areas where most Filipinos are financially challenged. So for our guest, how about you? Which of the four major areas do you think affects you most? Can you type the number or numbers in our chat box? So which of the four do you think affects you most? Okay, let's see here. Okay, so there's increasing cost of living, 2, 3, 4, okay. Okay. All right, thank you. So considering these challenges that all of us will face, the next question for us would be, how do we overcome these challenges? What can we do? Are we going to just ignore these realities in life? So how can IMG help the Filipino rise from these challenges? It is important to know that our future is not in the hands of anyone else. not our company, not our friends, not even the government. Nobody has the responsibility to make your life better and financially secure except you. In IMG, we will learn how to make money, save money the right way, accumulate money or how to grow it, and most importantly, to protect the money that we worked hard for. Understanding how money works and how it will work for us is part of taking care of our future and the future of our families. That's why IMG encourages everyone to acquire financial education because financial education, together with discipline, will help us become wealthy and overcome the challenges that we face in the four major areas. So, to understand how money works, let me first introduce you to some basic financial concepts. These are the X curve concept, the power of compound interest using the rule of 72, and how to build a solid financial foundation. Okay. So the X curve concept states that over time, as we get older, our responsibility decreases and our wealth increases. So this is shown by the two curves that run to opposite directions during our lifetime. When we are younger and starting a job, normally we don't have money or no big savings. So what we do is we work hard to have money and to receive active income. So if we don't have a job, we don't have any work, we don't receive any income. That's why it's called active income. At this time, also, we have the responsibility to take care of our family since we are the ones working to help our parents, our siblings, or if we are starting our own family. So if we are the breadwinner, it is our obligation, whether we live or die, to provide for food, shelter, education, healthcare, and to pay our bills and debts. Our income during this time is not enough and it is temporary, thereby less secure. At the height of building our wealth, we suddenly get sick or we lose our job. Worse, although we are not praying this to anyone to happen to anyone else, what if we die too soon? We can never know, right? So if this it can happen to anyone. So if this happens, who then will take care of our families? So if we die too soon, life insurance comes in because insurance is equivalent to instant cash that can help our family in the event that we are disabled or when we die too soon. So if we are the breadwinner in our families and something happens to us, the income that we used to receive is replaced by life insurance. As we get older and already started to save and invest, we are increasing our wealth. And this is shown by the wealth curve or the green curve. This happens as we grow older because we are already done paying for our loans, debts, education of our kids. We are done paying for insurance. We are saving and investing more. Hence, we have lesser responsibilities and more savings and investments. And because we are able to save and invest when we retire from our jobs, we do not receive active income, we are assured that we have enough money that we receive because of our investments. Then this is what we call the passive income, wherein our money is already working for us. Thus, we say we are more secure. But another fact or truth in life is, what if we live too long? Who will take care of us? Do we have enough savings that will last us another 20 to 30 years? So who do we seek help from when we get sick or need to be hospitalized? Are we going to depend on our children? Although our children out of love will offer to help us, but until when? They will most likely have their own families also. So when we live too long, This is where investment and long-term healthcare comes in. Our key points here are: if we, the breadwinners, die too soon, life insurance will take care of our families. And if we live too long, investment and long-term care will take care of us. So as parents or future parents who are financially educated, we now know that we shouldn't make our children our investments or our retirement fund. Let us strive then to have our own investments and long-term healthcare plans to take care of us when we retire and grow old. So if you want to take a screenshot of this X-curve concept, you may do so. So if you have more questions, please talk to the person who invited you. Okay, so the next concept is the power of compound interest. Compound interest is the addition of interest to the principal sum of a loan or deposit and the accumulated interest from previous periods. In other words, interest on interest over time. And this is best described using the rule of 72. So the rule of 72 was popularized by Albert Einstein, and it is a shortcut used to estimate the number of years required to double our money at a given annual rate of return. We simply divide 72 over the interest rate. So for example, if the interest rate is 4%, then our money doubles every 18 years. For an 8% interest, our money doubles every 9 years. And if we are investing our money in an account that provides 12% interest rate, our money doubles every 6 years. So to give you an example, so our example is we are age 29 now, and we have 100,000 pesos to invest. If we put our 100,000 in an account or an investment that gives us 4% interest, then our 100,000 pesos will become 200,000 at age 47 and 400,000 pesos at age 65. Our money doubles every 18 years. However, if we can find an investment platform that gives us 8% interest rate, this means our money doubles every 9 years, then our 100,000 pesos can become 1.6 million pesos at age 65. But with a 12% interest, we can have more than that. So our 100,000 pesos can grow to as much as 6.4 million pesos when we retire at age 65, because our 100,000 pesos doubled every 6 years. So the higher the interest rate, the shorter the time that it will take for our money to double. So let us show you more examples to understand more how compound interest works. So we must look at it on a long-term perspective, because compound interest is time dependent. And the longer our money is invested, the more compounding of interest will happen. So in this example, I get this image from the Facebook page of Miss G. Isaal of IMG. So if you can read the image below, we are investing in the Sol Vivo Strategic Growth Fund, which is a mutual fund. And we are getting a 12% average annual return, for example, which is our interest rate. So using the rule of 72, our money doubles every 6 years, right? So if we consistently invest 500 pesos per month for 35 years, our investment of 210,000 pesos can grow to as much as 2.9 million pesos. But if we invest 1,000 pesos every month for 35 years, our investment or savings for 420,000 pesos can grow to as much as 5.8 million pesos. So you can see here the big difference of money saved versus money invested. So if you save 500 pesos a month for 35 years in a savings account, the total sum is just 210,000. And with inflation, its value can be affected. But if we invest that amount of money in a mutual fund that gives 12% annual interest, it will grow to 2.9 million pesos. Okay? So what happens to our money in the bank? Most of us were taught that when during our younger years, we are told to save, right? We were taught to open a savings account in the bank so we can have some money to use for future expenses. All our lives, our money is just sitting in the bank without really understanding how the interest rates work. So did we ever consider asking what is the purpose of an interest rate? Now, since we are discussing compound interest and growing our money, if we still do not know this information, most banks will only give us 1% annual interest or less. So applying the rule of 72, if we put 100,000 pesos in the bank, we will have to wait for 72 years before it can double. How much more if we are getting 0.5% annual interest? So can you imagine waiting for 144 years? However, we're not saying that we do not like banks, and we will discuss later why we need them also. So the point here is the interest in savings accounts are too low to offset inflation and increasing taxes. So realizing this situation, where then can we put our money so it will grow and balance inflation? So this is where investing in the stock market comes in. So many of us have this misconception that investing in the stock market only belongs to the rich or the big business owners. That's why we're all fortunate to be here, because as early as now, we will correct this misconception. So anyone who has the means can invest in the stock market. It is in the stock market where we can find platforms or instruments that will help our money grow to offset inflation and increasing taxes. It is in the stock market where we can enjoy 8 to 12% interest rates for the money we invest. And there are two kinds of investing. We have the direct investing and indirect investing. So direct investing is when we actively trade in the stock market. We actively participate in buying and selling shares of a company. So an active trader is someone with the knowledge and skills to participate in trading in the stock market. A lot of research and training is needed before we can become a successful trader. On the other hand, indirect investing is especially made for people who do not have the knowledge or skills needed to be an active trader. It is for people who do not have the time to research companies where they want to invest in. So indirect investing is commonly investing in mutual funds. So if we are new to investing, it is recommended to learn more and invest in mutual funds. So why mutual funds? One, it is easier to do. Two, the money that we invest will be handled by professional fund managers. Three, a mutual fund includes shares of several companies and not just one. And four, investing in mutual funds requires a low investment minimum amount. You can already start investing with just 1,000 pesos. So this is how investing in mutual funds look like. Fund managers pool or collect the money of all the investors in that mutual fund. And these fund managers will invest that money in big companies. So all we have to do is to continue investing or adding more money to our investment and wait for our money to grow. The returns that we receive from our investments are from the profits gained by these big companies. So here is an example. So if we invest in this mutual fund, the Soldivo Strategic Growth Fund, the money that we put or deposit in the mutual fund account is being invested by the fund managers in companies like Ayala Corporation, SM, BPI, Jollibee, BDO, Robinsons, and others. So you don't need to buy the individual shares of each company. Just invest in one mutual fund and you can share the profits of these big companies. Their success is also your success. So it's like a fruit salad. One bowl has everything that you like. So if you are interested in learning more about investing in mutual funds, please talk to the person who invited you so you can attend other free classes on mutual funds investing. And if you are still hesitant to invest in mutual funds because of fear of being scammed, did you know that SSS also invests billions of pesos in mutual funds? So if big companies can invest in mutual funds, what is stopping us from investing as well, right? So going back to this example, do you think kaya natin mag-invest ng 500 pesos a month? Yes? No? Maybe? Can you type your answer in the chat box? Kaya ba natin mag-invest ng 500 pesos a month? Invest. Yes? No? Maybe? Kayang-kaya? Wow. So if yes, very good. That's good. Because if hindi kaya ang 500 pesos a month, start small with 100 pesos per month and increase the amount over time. The important thing is we start investing. And to take advantage of the compound interest, invest early and often. Okay? Okay. So we're done discussing about the X-curve concept and the power of compound interest. So let's discuss building a solid financial foundation. So can you just give me a moment? I just need to drink some water. Thank you. Okay, so building a solid financial foundation is just like building a house from the ground up. And it should look like this. First, we must have proper health care coverage. Second, we must have proper protection or insurance in case we die too soon. Third, we should be able to manage and pay off all our debts. Fourth, we must be able to set aside some of our money as emergency fund. And fifth, we should be able to save and make long-term investments. So let's discuss proper healthcare first. So there are three types of healthcare. We have the short-term healthcare, the senior care, and the long-term healthcare. So short-term healthcare is the traditional HMO. This is the healthcare we get from our employers. It has no life insurance coverage. Renewal is not guaranteed, especially if there are high claims, and it only covers until age 60. So if we retire or we no longer work, we no longer have healthcare insurance, and after we retire or after we it's either lose our job or quit, any unused premiums are not returned to us. So it's good as nothing. So it's the same with senior care. So this is similar to the short-term health care, but covers beyond 60 years old. But this one is very expensive due to illnesses that we might have already at that age. So renewal is also not guaranteed, okay? And the third one is the long-term health care. It is a healthcare coverage with health savings account. It has a fixed premium program that is only for 7 years. So it is also renewable, and any or all unused fund that we pay accumulates with interest, and it covers beyond age 60. So the bottom line is having proper healthcare is the start of building our financial foundation. The old saying, health is wealth, rings true because without proper healthcare, we might end up spending most of our savings when we get sick or when we are hospitalized, right? So the next one is having a proper protection on life and disability or life insurance. The main purpose of life insurance is to protect our loved ones, business, or properties the moment we die. So, as breadwinners or working spouse or parent, our goal is to meet not just the basic needs of our families, but strive to at least give them a comfortable life, if not a luxurious one. So, while we work hard to realize this goal, we cannot avoid things that we do not have control of. So, for example, we can get sick or worse, we die. So, what will happen to our kids or to our families? If we do not have life insurance, there is no guarantee that our families will be comfortable. So, if in this case, they will surely struggle, and we do not want that to happen to them. So, if we have insurance together with some savings and investments, this will be like instant cash or money that they can use to adjust to the changes, and especially that there is less or no more active income for the family. So, with life insurance, the basic needs are at least met since it is a replacement for the income that the family used to receive. So, we get life insurance not for ourselves, but for our families who are depending on us. So the next question would be, how will we know the right amount of coverage that we need? So we must know this because what if we are offered an insurance plan, but it is not enough for our families? It would still be challenging for them. Thus, we compute for the coverage by multiplying our annual income by 10 years. So for example, we are earning 240,000 a year times 10, the amount of coverage of the insurance plan that we should get should be at least 2.4 million pesos. Okay, so that's the formula to compute the correct life insurance coverage. All right, next, we should be able to manage our debts or utang and reduce our liabilities or our expenses. So for our 35 participants today, who among us here has utang or loans? So can you give me the laughing emoji or the iyak tawa emoji? To our 35 participants, who among us here has utang? And for those who do not have utang or utang free, can you give me a heart reaction? Next. Wow. Mga ano, taga-IMG. So if you are that person, congratulations. Maybe you all be like you. So it is a known fact that it is easy to borrow money or get a loan or use a credit card because we can instantly buy the things that we want. However, when it comes to paying our loans or utang, it becomes very difficult. So to establish our financial foundation, we need to pay off our debts. We need to learn how to eliminate all our utang because if we ignore them or pretend they do not exist, they will pile up and grow. Wala pong magagawa si Batman dyan. Okay? So, do you know that compound interest is also used in loans? Compound interest will work against us when we are paying our utang or loans. So, think about our utang and how much is the interest rate. And then apply the rule of 72. And if we only pay the minimum balance on our loans, such as our credit card loans, the whole amount will double fast due to the high interest rate. So the key point here is to live below our means. so that as much as possible, hindi po tayo nangungutang. Or if we really need to borrow money to fund a business, know the interest rate and compute using the rule of 72. This way, we can determine if we are able to pay back that loan. Okay? So as Albert Einstein said, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it, but he who doesn't pays it. Okay? Next, the fourth one is we should build or save up for an emergency fund. So an emergency fund is money that is set aside in cases of emergencies like job loss, accidents, home or car repairs, unforeseen medical expenses, and so on. So this is different from our other savings or investments. So this is the money that we put in our savings account in the bank or in our ATMs. So whenever there is an emergency, we can easily withdraw the money. Having an emergency fund prevents us from using our insurance or investments in times of emergencies. So how much should an emergency fund be? We compute this by multiplying our monthly expenses by 12 months. Normally, it is 3 to 6 months of expenses. However, with this pandemic, it is recommended to have at least 12 months of expenses. So how to start? We need to list down all our monthly expenses, such as rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, and other bills. And we multiply the total by 12 months. So for example, our monthly expenses is 10,000 pesos times 12, we should have at least 120,000 pesos as emergency fund in our savings account. It's a big number, so it might be difficult for most. Start small. Okay, just like investing, start small and you will eventually build up your emergency fund. Okay. So the last one is building up savings and investments. So according to Sir Rex Mendoza, the investment expert in the Philippines, we do not have the right to invest unless we are properly protected. So since we do not know the concept of a solid financial foundation, most of us would get the usual assets. So like most Filipinos, we invest first in buying or building a house and getting a car. We might even do trading, right? We buy stocks. And we can say we have an emergency fund. However, if we're not financially educated, we don't know how much to save for an emergency fund. And since we went ahead in buying or building a house or getting a car first, most of us would get these using bank loans. Hence, we are already in debt. Also, we were able to get a life insurance, but we were not well informed on how much should the coverage be. Thus, we might be getting a small amount of coverage. And our healthcare insurance would be from the company where we are employed. So what happens then if we lose our job or when we retire? That healthcare would be gone and we no longer have health coverage. What if we die too soon? That small amount of insurance would not be enough to help our families that we leave behind. The tendency would be our families would borrow money and debts will continue to pile up and grow. Since they need to pay those debts, they will be using the small amount of emergency fund, and the chances of selling our assets, such as the house, land properties, and car to pay for those debts is high. So even if we have investments in real estate assets, but no proper healthcare and proper protection, all our investments and assets will be wiped out, especially when we get sick or hospitalized, and worse, when we die. So as mentioned earlier, health is wealth, and we need to take care of our health. That is why it is the first building block of a solid financial foundation. So for most of us who are new to these concepts, it is a bit challenging to start building our solid financial foundation. However, if there are three major financial needs that we must secure for ourselves and our family, these are proper healthcare, proper protection or life insurance, and savings and investments for us to have enough retirement fund. So I'm going back to our guests here. So we already have 37 of you. How much should be our retirement fund? Can you give me some numbers? Please type them in the chat box. So what do you think should be the amount of a retirement fund? So can you give me, in your opinion, how much is a retirement fund for a Filipino? Can you please type in our chat box? Okay, first, wow, 10 million pesos, 5 million, 5 million, 7 million, going once, joke lang. 7 million, hindi na ba enough ang 1 million? Wow, 10 million. 1 million. Who else? Wow, 20 million. Okay, so those are big numbers, right? So actually in IMG, we are taught to calculate our retirement fund with this formula. So our annual income times 20 years. Yes, hindi enough ang 1 million because hindi natin kino-consider ang inflation. So ang 1 million mo pwede maging 800,000 lang, di ba? So if you ask why 20 years is because we are considering the time that we live too long after 60, right? And we need this big amount because of inflation and increasing taxes. So in our formula, this is example. If we are earning 240,000 a year times 20, we need to have at least 4.8 million pesos as retirement fund. So for us, it would be like, ang laki naman ng amount na yan. So how can we save for it? Right? Enough bang maging save? Can we save, if let's say I'm 30 years old, can we have enough? Is 30 years enough for us to save for 4.8 million pesos? Right? So in IMG, we are taught that to have a retirement fund that is more than, or at least this amount, we have to invest in mutual funds and long-term healthcare. So how do we start? Right? Where do we start? How can we start building our financial foundation? So IMG is here not just to provide financial education, but to provide us with a platform to start increasing our income and give us access to the different trusted companies that will offer us the right insurance and investment opportunities. Okay? So to start off, IMG's one partner is the Kaiser International. So Kaiser International is the only company in the Philippines that offers long-term healthcare that is coupled with protection and investment. So in this program, we do not need to save separately for healthcare, another for insurance, and another for investment. That's why it's called a 3-in-1 program, because with just one saving, we can have these three. So let's look at our example here. So let's say we are 22 years old. We get the Kaiser K100 plan with the installment amount or annual saving of 58,821.43, but you can also pay monthly, quarterly, or semi-annually. And you will be saving for just 7 years, which will total to a contract price of 411,750 pesos. Okay. So for the first 7 years, this is our saving period. We receive, so while saving, We receive benefits such as free checkups, annual physical exams, dental benefits, waiver of installment due to death and disability, basic medical benefits, and so on. And on year 8 to year 13, this is our growth period. So after the 7 year saving period, we will be given a certificate of complete payment. And then all we have to do is allow our money to grow for the next 13 years. So during the growth period, we still get the benefits that I mentioned earlier. And then upon reaching maturity or on the 20th year, our money that we saved worth 411,750 pesos has now accumulated to, sorry about that, 1.2 million. So our saving for just 7 years can reach this amount provided we did not get sick or use a portion of the savings amount. So if we have this plan, we can reach 1.2 million by year 20 if we haven't used any of it. That's why even if we have long-term health care, it's still advised to take care of your health. Okay, again, health is wealth. All right, so after year 20, we are now in the harvest period. So this, after our money has grown into 1.2 million, we have the following options. We can withdraw the entire maturity value, withdraw portions of it, and retain portions of it, or retain the whole maturity value and let it grow further. Take note, however, that if we withdraw the entire maturity value, we will no longer have any coverage under the Kaiser plan. Hence, it is highly recommended to keep the whole amount or a portion of it invested. So we will still be covered beyond the 20th year. So if by age 60 years old in this example, provided we haven't used or withdrawn any of our invested money, the total accumulated amount can total to as much as 6.4 million pesos. And by age 65, our investment can go to 10.4 million. So this is how compound interest works. So if you do this, then any people or our guests who said 10 million, you can have this by having the Kaiser 100 plan. Okay, so if you want to know more about Kaiser Healthcare Program, please talk to the person who invited you, or you can also visit their website, kaiserhealthcaregroup.com. Okay. Okay, so aside from Kaiser International, IMG also is partnering with several huge companies in the Philippines providing healthcare, life insurance, investment, and other financial services. So to categorize them accordingly, here is the list. So by being a member of IMG, we can avail of the services of the products and services of these companies at a discount. Okay, you can take a screenshot of this one, or you can simply talk to the person who invited you so that they will provide you information, because we do have classes to discuss about this IMG partners, including our next topic, which is the benefits of being an IMG member. So in IMG, we have 48 overwhelming benefits. So benefits 1 to 39 are applicable for those based in the Philippines, and the additional benefits 40 to 48 are given to our OFWs. So we cannot discuss all of them. So talk to the person who invited you, or you can take a screenshot later on with our top benefits that I will be showing. Okay, and these are, we have free financial seminars and checkups, free 100,000 personal accident insurance coverage, 50,000 life insurance coverage from Fidelity Life, free eye checkup and eyeglass frames, free unlimited consultation at Kaiser Medical Center for members, and discounted medical services for members and immediate family. We also have access to Kaiser Healthcare and, of course, access to Manila Bankers Life Insurance. Next, we also have 0% entry fee on mutual fund investments for IMG members. Because if you open a mutual fund account, you normally pay fees for it. But when you are an IMG member, you don't pay any fee. And as a member, you already have a mutual fund account with 1,000 pesos worth of shares from your membership fee that you paid for. Also, if you are active if you are into active trading in the stock market, you also have access to My Trade. This is a stock market trading platform. You can also avail of our discounts, not mine, but you can also avail discounts from our partner companies on non-life insurances such as car insurance, travel insurance, fire protection insurance. And you also have discounts on real estate purchases with SMDC, Ayala Land, or DMCI, and discounts on car purchases. And you also receive free Everest memorial services. And here are the big 4 things that I want to highlight. With IMG, we can also start our financial business. We can travel the world for free. We have world-class recognition, and we can have free HMO coverage when we continue to do the business ownership program and reach certain milestones. So how do we start receiving these benefits, right? So the answer here is simple. Become a member of IMG. And to begin, we have 2 membership options. We have the basic membership and associate membership. So if we choose to get the basic membership, we pay a one-time fee of 6,000 pesos. And the benefits that we can get are access to the 48 benefits that I mentioned earlier, the opportunity to be licensed and accredited as a financial planner. We also have 50,000 pesos coverage, death or memorial benefit, 100,000 pesos accident insurance benefit, online mutual fund account with 1,000 pesos worth of shares, and unlimited financial education trainings and classes, which are mostly free. So as we can see here in the upper right side, so this is our financial foundation. With just the basic membership, 2 blocks of the Solid Financial Foundation are already covered: life insurance and investment. So how much more if we choose to get the associate membership? So here we pay for the one-time fee of 6,000 pesos plus the first month's payment of the Kaiser Healthcare plan. So for the 12,382 pesos, our example here used is the K100 plan. And with this membership, the benefits that we can get are access to the 48 benefits, the opportunity to be licensed and accredited as a financial planner, up to 500,000 burial or death benefit, 1 million insurance accident insurance benefit, of course, the online mutual fund account with 1,000 pesos worth of shares, and unlimited financial education and trainings. Plus, the opportunity to start a financial brokerage business with 6-figure income potential, which will help increase your cash flow, manage your debt, build an emergency fund, and increase investments. And of course, we have our Kaiser 3-in-1 long-term healthcare. So take note of the financial foundation, because with the associate membership, all blocks are covered, which makes this a great start for us in building our own solid financial foundation. So to give you a breakdown of these payments, these are what we'll be paying for the basic membership option. So 5,500 is the one-time membership fee, and the 500 pesos is for the Fidelity Life Insurance with 50,000 coverage. On the other column, we use the Kaiser K100 plan for the associate membership. Hence, the total payment is 12,382 pesos, broken down into the 6,000 membership fee and life insurance with Fidelity, and 5,882, which is the first month's payment of K100 plan, plus the 500 pesos annual policy fee. So in the associate membership option, we also have higher and lower plans that we can choose from, and not just the K100. So if we are getting the K100 plan, we will initially pay 12,382 pesos, and on the second month onwards, we will only be saving 5,882 pesos every month for 7 years. But of course, you also have the option to choose pay quarterly, semi-annually, and annually. So if you need this information, take a screenshot and talk to the person who invited you, okay? So again, if you are interested in becoming a member of IMG or to learn more about our membership options, please do not hesitate to have a chat with your inviter. Okay, can you give me a thumbs up if you're still with me? 37 participants, are you still with me? Thank you very much. So we're about to end our session, so give me a few more minutes, okay? Okay, so after knowing all these realities in life and the options or the benefits that we can get from IMG, some of us can still be skeptical or hesitant to start saving or investing. But no matter what our excuse is, we will still get old next year. Our kids will grow up and enter college, and we will need money to pay for their education, and we will eventually retire and stop making active income. So the point is to take action now, invest in the present to ensure a secure future for us and our family. Okay, so be with a community that inspires you to save or invest. Because when members of your community save and invest, you will also be influenced or inspired to save and invest as well. Because the opposite will happen. When you surround yourself with people who are big spenders, you will spend more than you earn. Hence, find your money tribe that will help you rise from the financial challenges and help you achieve financial success. Because IMG's mission is to convert people from being spenders to savers and to teach them how to save the right way. And being part of IMG community, we can become an advocate, an educator, or an entrepreneur. So being here now, you can be included in our campaign, the 30 million by 2030 financial education movement. So please provide your complete name and email address to your inviter so you will be counted. And as of July 2021, our financially educated community has reached 4 million members. That's a great achievement. And be part of the financial literate and start building a better future for you and your family. And reminding you that financial independence is not a dream, it is a decision to make. Don't just dream about financial security, make it happen. And why not start your journey towards financial freedom with IMG? Thank you very much for investing your time today. Again, if you have questions, please talk to the person who invited you. And let's end today's class with this quote from Benjamin Franklin. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Thank you and God bless.